on, guys? It's Steve. Listen, I know I messed up. There's only one video today. I was doing so good 4 months straight with 2 videos a day, and I screwed up once, so I apologize for that. I didn't screw up. It's just timing just really messed up. I had to help my grandfather and my grandparents to do a whole bunch of stuff, so timing was not on my side. I thought I'd be back in time. I ran out of scheduled videos because I was going and doing some things and, traveling and things like that. So I apologize for that, but I'm back in New York, so expect some great videos to come. The hairline video is officially in 2 days, which is crazy. But anyway, so I'm going to have a longer video today for you guys, around 20 minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoy a 20-minute video. I'm going to do my thing for you guys. So anyway, what's going on in the NBA? I made a top 10, MVP race video, and a lot of you guys got confused, like, Steve, is this your list? No. I said in the beginning of the video, this was Basketball Reference's list, and pretty much what they do is they're affiliated with the NBA, and mostly everything they say is accurate for the most part. It's very accurate. So no, it's not my list. I don't agree with the majority of the list. Some of the lists I did agree with, and I was actually shocked to see Kevin Durant on number 1. So that's the topic of this video. Does Kevin Durant deserve to be MVP? Because if we know, he's number 1 right now. He had 34% of the vote. So does he deserve to be MVP? And, actually this video might not be 20 minutes, but we'll see. Because I got to go help. But does he deserve to be MVP? Yes and no. If you look at it from a logistical standpoint, if you just look at his stats, he's having probably the best season in the NBA at this moment. If you just look at his stats, he's having one of the best seasons in NBA history. He's efficient as hell. He's scoring. He's rebounding. He's passing at a career high. He's doing his thing, But at the same time, you look at that and you say, well, you know what? How can he be the most valuable if, they don't have a better record than they did last year without him? And it's pretty much the same team except a few role players that they had to give up to get him. So when you look at it like that, you're like, oh, he doesn't deserve it. But then when you look at his efficiency, it's like, wait a minute. He has Kevin Durant. He has Stephen Curry. He has a whole bunch of players on his team, and he's still doing his thing with 3 other All-Stars on his team, and he's still putting up career numbers and career best numbers too in terms of rebounding and assists and, efficiency in terms of shooting percentage and things like that. He's doing his thing. So in terms of that, he definitely does at least deserve to be considered an MVP. Now, the topic is, does he actually deserve... I know this is kind of everywhere, but bear with me. I'm tired. I gotta do a lot of Christmas stuff today. But does he deserve to be MVP? And the answer to that is yes. In my opinion, he does. He's having an MVP year. However, I can't say he's more valuable than LeBron James. Because the difference is if you take LeBron off of that team, they'd probably be around a 7th or 8th seed in the East. Kyrie's not a great leader. We've seen that before in his younger years. I know he was younger, but Kyrie's not that great of a leader. Neither is Kevin Love. They're both great players, but they're not, number 1 championship players like all these other all-time greats, like your LeBrons, your MJs, your Kobe's, your Wades, and etc., and Birds and Magics. They're not that great, but they're great. They're great players, and they could potentially be Hall of Famers, if they continue to do what they do. And they're already in the record books after what happened in 2016. So in terms of that, when you think about it like that, if you take LeBron off, they barely would make the playoffs. They'd make it, but barely. 7th, 8th seed. They'd be a really low seed. When, if you want to compare that, if you take Kevin Durant off the Golden State Warriors, or you can even go with Russell Westbrook. You take Russell Westbrook off of the Oklahoma City Thunder, what's going to happen? Who's going to do something in order to keep that team afloat? Because Victor Oladipo can't do it. And besides that, who else do they have? Enes Kanter. They lost their 3rd best player and their best player in Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka. So what can they do? So in terms of that, it's like they can't do anything. And then if you want to bring it even farther back, we can go to James Harden and the Houston Rockets. We can see what's going on with them. James Harden and the Houston Rockets, what's going to happen with them? If you take James Harden off the Rockets, who deserves it? Because they're not gonna go deep in the playoffs. They probably won't even make the playoffs if James Harden, wasn't on that team. And that's real. And even look at Jimmy Butler. I love Dwyane Wade to death, but he's not prime D Wade. When Bosh wasn't there, they didn't even make the playoffs in Miami. And I know they have Rondo, but if you take D Wade off that team, they'd probably still barely make the playoffs. But if you put, what's his name? If you take Jimmy Butler off that team, They ain't making the playoffs. I'm sorry, but they're not. He's that good. He's averaging? Like 26, 7, and 5? Pretty damn good. Right now, that's pretty damn good. And he's a defender and offensive play. He's great. And someone in the comments was talking about Kyle Lowry, and this actually opened my eyes because I didn't realize Kyle Lowry was playing so great this season. He's playing good. You don't realize how great Kyle Lowry is playing until you really look at the stats, and I'm just like, what the hell? This dude's averaging like 25 and 7. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 rebounds and 7 assists, and I'm just like, what? It's crazy because you wouldn't expect that from Kyle Lowry. I know he had a few good years the last 2 years, but I mean, after the playoff, you wouldn't expect that. I expected, their confidence to go up, but I wouldn't expect that. So in terms of that, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Other people are more deserving than Kevin Durant in that sense. But you also have to, be fair and think of other players like DeMar DeRozan, who also deserves it. He definitely deserves it. That record Michael Jordan historic scoring streak that hasn't been done since Jordan, that's epic. That's straight elite. So Michael Jordan definitely deserves. I mean, I said Michael Jordan. DeMar DeRozan deserves it. And we can even add even more players. Look at DeMarcus Cousins. Look at Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is a beast. Great young player. I don't think he's a superstar, but he could be a perennial all-star. 4 or 5-time all-star by the end of his career. He's good. And, we can even add more players. We can continue to go on. Look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Without him, what's going to happen? They ain't winning. Without Giannis, they're not going to win. The Bucks will be irrelevant without him, to be honest. I mean, they have Greg Monroe, Jabari Parker, Michael Carter-Williams, etc., but, come on. And the list can even go even further. And you can even talk about Carmelo Anthony. I'm not saying he deserves MVP, but I'm just saying, if you take Melo off that team, what's going to happen? They couldn't even win one game last year without him. If you look at Kristaps Porzingis, would they be as good without him? No. It's the same thing. There's so many players that are deserving of it. But when you look at it and see how great Kevin Durant is playing, you also wait a minute. Kevin Durant actually deserves it as well. Kevin Durant is having a historic season right now, and no one can take that away from him. No one can. So when I look at things like that, it's like, it's unfair, which is why I said there needs to be a Best Player award and an MVP award. If you look at the Best Player award, who's playing the best? I'm sorry. I love LeBron to death. I know LeBron James is the best player in the world, but in terms of who's playing the best, Kevin Durant is by far. I know Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double, but, I mean, he's not that great. He's not that efficient. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's still, in my opinion, the third best player in the world right now. It's LeBron, KD, Westbrook, Harden, and Curry. Top 5 right there. I don't know if I would put Harden in front of Curry just yet. I might. I'm not sure. But, in terms of that, it's like, it's crazy. It's bananas. Kevin Durant is killing it right now, and he deserves to be either the Best Player award or the MVP award. He definitely does. We can even keep going on. James Harden. He's great. Does he deserve to be a Best Player? The only hard thing about the Best Player award is it'll be tough to, because people view the MVP award as who's the best player, and that's pretty much who it is. Who's the best player, who's the most popular, that's what it is. But if you had 2 separate awards and had a Best Player award, it'll be who had the best season, who played the best that season. Whereas the MVP should be who's the most valuable to the team, who does the most for their team. And when you look at that, obviously the candidates would obviously be every year. If you looked at it just strictly from that, who did the most for their team, strictly from that, the candidates every single year would be LeBron, KD, Russ, and James Harden. And that's period. And Stephen Curry, period. No question about it. Yes, Kawhi is great. Yes, Jimmy is great. Yes, DeRozan is great. Yes, Lowry, Kevin Love, and all those other players that were on that list are great. They don't do as much as LeBron, KD, Russ, James, and Steph. Not even close to doing as great. So when I look at that, it's like, it's tough, and it's so unfair because, to be honest, there is a Best Player award. LeBron would win every single year. So that's it. Does Kevin Durant deserve to be the most valuable player? He does, because he's having a great year. However, there are a lot of other players more deserving, which doesn't mean he's not deserving, but there are other players that are more deserving, like your LeBrons, like your Russ, and your Hardens. And to be honest, I hope he goes to either Russell Westbrook or James Harden, because for their teams to still be, I think they're both like 4, 5, and 6 or something around there, either 4th, 5th, or 6th in the West. without their losing Dwight Howard, and then for Russell Westbrook losing Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka. I mean, come on. You lost the second best player in the world, and you lost one of the best defenders in the world, who, yeah, he took some steps back. He's not as great as he once was, but, I mean, come on. So when I look at it like that, it's like, wait a minute. What Russell Westbrook is doing right now is legendary. And James Harden, this dude is 6'9", playing, not 6'9", 6'6", playing point guard, averaging what? What is he averaging? 28, what is it, 28, 8, and 11? That's crazy. 28, 8, and 11. That's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I apologize for the one video. I really had it planned to do 2 videos. I woke up early. I was about to do it, and everyone in my house just woke up. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't do it. And I went to the gym, and I couldn't even do it, in the car or anything like that, because New York City's too crowded. So I apologize for that, guys. I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll never miss 2 videos a day ever again. I'm out. Well, never say never. I was about to sing Justin Bieber, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. Never say never. I'm done. Roast me if you want. I'm out. Peace.